and rolling right now behind Eva Hudson, one of the top outsides in the Big Ten and the country, taking on Emily Londot in Ohio State. You can't overlook the Buckeyes. They have been close this year, and they will test Purdue at home. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network, powered by Unleaded 88, Engine Smart, Earth Kind. Is this the night where Ohio State finally picks up that top 10 win? We are loaded with star power, starting with her, Emily Eamon. I'm Jack Kaiser. It's great to have you with us. And Emily, throw out the record for Ohio State. 1-7 in the Big Ten right now. They have been close, and Purdue cannot overlook this match. Despite
Ohio State's 1-7 start, they are not a team to sleep on. The Buckeyes were dealing with key injuries for the first half of the season. They're starting to find their rhythm, though. They took number 3 Penn State all the way in extra points in the 5th set last week. Purdue has to start off laser focused tonight.
Purdue was laser focused against Indiana, a sweep at Mackey at home on Saturday. They've got a big match coming up against Wisconsin, and they've been led in the middle by Raven Colvin this year.
Raven Colvin has been the X factor for Purdue this season. When she's good offensively, it changes this Purdue team. The Boilers will move around where she's attacking along the net. That makes her even tougher to stop. Look at her line of approach. Colvin looks like she's hitting in front of the setter, but ends up on a back quick with an open net to put it down. Colvin also works incredibly hard in transition to make herself available for her setter. Watch how fast she comes down from this block, gets off the net, and then starts her approach. Colvin knows that if she's not moving fast enough, she won't get set, so she's got to grind her butt off to get off the net. Ohio State's got an X factor of their own in freshman outside Emmy Selman, who's on the right side of your screen. Opposite Emily Londot on the left is the go-to, but Selman, in just her 9th match of her college career after missing non-con with injury, she's been the difference maker lately. Selman's a tall, physical outside that has incredible range and strength as a freshman. She's also got great court vision to use the block well and can hit all shots. Slowing her down tonight is going to be a massive focus for the Boilers.
She was the first out for warm-ups earlier today. She is locked in, ready to take on a team that is so tough to beat at home. First serve, Purdue and Ohio State next.
Purdue and Ohio State is part of an electric homestand for the Boilermakers. About to face off with the Buckeyes in a huge match for both teams, especially Ohio State trying to pick up their 2nd Big Ten win. Our starting lineup tonight brought to us by Unleaded 88, Engine Smart, Earth Kind. And for Ohio State, Emily Londot, top of the scout. Emmy Selman gives Ohio State more attack balance. And back at center tonight, it is Mia Truman. She's been alternating with Kamaya Gibson recently. Not much change in the Purdue starting lineup. They've got their elite All-American caliber trio with Raven Colvin, Chloe Chicoine, Eva Hudson. It is star power all over the place. We said right off the top, but especially for Purdue, they've been ranked in the top 15 all season. Series history is tight, separated by just one, and Purdue has gotten the better of Ohio State more often than not recently, but as you see at the bottom there, most have been tight individually. 4-set match, Purdue win as of last year. Last time at Holloway Gym, Ohio State took down Purdue in 4 sets. Ryan McAleer will start us from Holloway. Purdue coming off a win over Indiana across the street at Mackey. Emily Londot with the first swing for Ohio State, and that is exactly what the Buckeyes need.
Ohio State has to focus on their passing tonight. This was an incredible start. Nailing the pass right away, that allows for all options on attack, which is why Londot was one-on-one in the backcourt. Ohio State has to keep up that serve receive tonight.
Been a problem at times this year for the Buckeyes. The students will make it challenging for Ohio State in its service tonight. Back set for a sliding Raven Colvin, and it's Ohio State point. It's wide right.
Watch for Purdue to throw in a lot of slide attacks, meaning behind the setter with Raven Colvin alongside Taylor Anderson. That's a connection they've been working really hard on in the last year.
We were talking to Raven Colvin before the match, and she said It's the first time I've had the same setter in back-to-back years.
Which is crazy thinking for a senior on a team. Every year it's been different as Ohio State gets the stuff there. But that's why this connection has improved between Colvin and Anderson, finding ways to find a little bit more consistency. Right away, Ohio State finding ways to shut down the outsides. That's going to be key for them tonight, slowing down Chicoine and Hudson.
Strong start for Ohio State, up 3-0 on the road. Back to Colvin once again. Got a touch. Oh, it's kept up. Looked like it was, but hit the floor. It's Purdue's first point. Jen Flynn Oldenburg in her 5th season. And former setter outside at Ohio State. She said she's been reminding the team, here we are in the RPI. Here's what our schedule looks like coming up. There is hope for this team despite a 1-7 start in the Big Ten.
And right now, Ohio State sits at 68th in the RPI, which you might think is low, but normally to make the tournament, you need to be in about that 55, maybe 60 range. So this season is nowhere near over for Ohio State, and they're about to enter a stretch that is a bit lighter than what we saw during the first half of Big Ten play, whereas ranked opponent after ranked opponent.
They are in the middle of an absolute gauntlet right now, facing Penn State and Nebraska last week. London, it is out.
Ohio State still trying to find ways to find consistency, but that's really hard to do when you see ranked opponent night in and night out. But that's just another week in the Big Ten. You see number 3, number 2, 10, 15. Ohio State's trying to find ways to get those little wins and really just see improvement during this time too, if the wins aren't coming.
London said, as Lourdes Myers sledgehammers it down. Purdue on the run here. Emily London said, we're going to find out how good we are, because we are a good team. Just got to see it. And how about this for Myers? Started with a strong serve. It is Colvin at the service line. Worked really hard on that skill throughout her volleyball career. She can send it over with pace, but sometimes doesn't land it in.
Up until college, Colvin had never served before, and she went from never having served before to the next year leading the conference in aces per set, a skill that she has worked so hard coming in the gym on extra days off just to get it better.
Abby Selman the serve. Taylor Anderson the set, and the swing for Myers. Dave Shondell, 22nd season as Purdue's head coach, awarded a Golden Hammer Saturday to celebrate becoming the winningest coach in Purdue history. He said he doesn't quite know what he's going to do with it yet, but the plan for now is the office. Dig for Allie Hornung, the libero in her first season as the primary libero for Purdue. Across the way, tip for Hudson. And a swing for Webb for another dig for Hornung. And Hudson finishes this time.
Allie Hornung doing work in the backcourt for Purdue, getting up after up. This is what makes Purdue so tough to stop. They have great backcourt defense, not even just from the libero, but all around. Then they're able to transition some of these plays that you might think are down. All of a sudden, the ball's back on you.
Hornung has really stepped up her leadership here, a much more confident player, and an ace for the Boilers gives them the lead.
Ohio State has to settle into their serve receive because these serves are coming fast. Look at that movement. A little bit of topspin causes that ball to drop.
Anderson second on the team in aces this year. 2 in a row.
Taylor Anderson picking apart the serve receive for Ohio State, mixing up where she's hitting this ball, going right at the shoulders of the passer. That forces them to make a decision. Okay, do I take this ball with my hands or my platform? See that confusion play out in an ace.
Olivia Hasbrook does lead the league in serve-receive errors this year. There's a service error for Purdue to give it back to the Buckeyes.
Passing is something that Ohio State has really struggled with from time to time, especially going up against a team like Purdue, a very good serving team. Ohio State has to lock it in back there.
Purdue's not afraid to mix it up at the service line. Go short, go long. It's hard to serve here on the row with the block party right behind you. In the middle for Myers, that was kicked up. How did that stay up? Hudson off the top of the block.
Ohio State's playing defense they didn't even know. They got a foot out there and just keep the ball alive. This is what it takes, just sometimes being in the right spot at the right time. Good up in the backcourt from Selman.
Not playing for the freshman, but she'll take it. Back set Londa. And finds net.
Ohio State really struggling to find that offensive rhythm to start. Not a lot of good looks on their side. And when they do get a good look, a few too many errors to start for the Buckeyes.
Efficiency has been an issue for Ohio State this year. Hitting just 203 near the bottom of the league in 16th. Webker with power.
Part of those efficiency numbers for Ohio State has been a lot of different players moving in. You have Emmy Selman, who just came back during conference play. Reese Webker, who's also filling in for some injured outsides on Ohio State's team. So the lineup's been switching, and they haven't had that consistency offensively.
You've got Grace Egan unavailable tonight, out with injury. Sydney Taylor's been out with injury. Utility Webker has stepped up and done a really nice job for the Buckeyes in a time of need. And there's a block for Ohio State to draw within one.
Webker, not a very tall player, just stands at about 5'9", 5'10", but she has been really impressive with her ability to make plays as a freshman coming into the league. It is very difficult to do right away, but she's been a little stable for this team that they kind of need.
Freshman from Centerville High School, just about an hour away from Columbus. High ball for Chacoin, and the roll was cleaned up by Webker. Right back to Ohio State. Myers the pushback, in the middle once again. Brandewie had it denied, and Woolard hits the antenna.
Ohio State getting a break there, Purdue hitting the ball into the antenna, but a lot of good looks this time on Ohio State's side offensively, but they still haven't found that consistency to put the ball down. The sets need to be in a little bit better spot. Looks like they're a little too low right now.
3 straight for the Bucks. And here's Londot leading the team in aces. That is just pure power from Myers.
Purdue is so tough to stop when they are in system, and they're very good in the backcourt, getting Taylor Anderson on the money time and time again. When that happens, you have all options on attack. It becomes very difficult to read when you got a quick coming through the middle.
There has been a significant improvement in those middle sets from Taylor Anderson this year. Webker the push was recycled by Woolard. Dig in the back row by Hudson. Her and Chacoin have been really solid defensively. Chacoin blocked. Hornung got a call on it, and Purdue just can't keep it alive.
Ohio State doing a nice job on their right side of the court defending Purdue's left sides, getting touch after touch, making it difficult for Chloe Chacoin to get a ball through.
Even at 10, Ohio State weathering the storm in one of the toughest gyms to play in the Big Ten. A push shot is out of bounds.
Colvin trying to do just a little bit too much with that. If the set isn't perfect, you have to find a way to better the ball. So maybe that's throwing in a tip just right over the block, but you don't need to perfectly place it on the sideline.
And for the most part, Colvin's been very efficient this year. Her hit percentage has skyrocketed. 280 last year to well over 400 this season. And ace for Ohio State pushes the lead to 2.
Ohio State bringing some fire from the end line. Watch the curve on this ball and the movement that you see it make so difficult to pass. You think it's one place, and then all of a sudden it drops in your seam.
Second serve for Caitlin Hoffman. Better swing for Colvin that time. Push from Selman, cleaned up by Anderson. Back row Hudson. Bump set, Londot. Hudson was there. The push from Chacoin. Back set, Brandewie. Hudson right down the gut.
Purdue doing a really nice job defensively, staying in the play, but going back to the serve. Again, check out the movement that we're seeing. Purdue having a hard time right in that seam, but a really good answer from Eva Hudson. Passing the ball and then finishing it off with a kill.
Hudson up to 3 kills early in set 1. Service error for Ryan McAleer. Again, you wondered what the focus, the energy would be like for Purdue coming out in this match. Coming off that huge win over IU in Mackey. The Big Ten regular season attendance record. You've got Wisconsin coming up in Mackey Saturday. You just can't overlook the Buckeyes. Selman powers it through.
Big swing from Emmy Selman on the outside. Even with a double block in front of her, she has the confidence to still swing at one of the better blockers in the country and rip it right inside. That's a high IQ play from the freshman.
An uber talented freshman coming out of the Academy of the Holy Cross in the Washington, D.C. area. A top 5 recruit by all accounts. Dig for Lundot and right back to Purdue. Chicoine. Oh, that's a sledgehammer.
Chloe Chicoine trying to put a hole in the floor, bringing all the heat in her arms. If you give Chicoine a seam to hit through, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's coming back real quick. Check out the power that she brings. No one's taking that.
Undersized, man, she packed a punch. Lundot tried to change up. Purdue ready for it. Outside to Selman. Joust, won by Anderson. Selman again. And Line drives it with the touch. Point Ohio State.
Selman doing a really nice job in transition, knowing she has a double block up there, still barreling it right through.
Big Ten standings approaching the midway point. It is loaded. No surprise. Ohio State near the bottom at 1-7 right now, but favorable schedule coming. Purdue in the hunt for a Big Ten championship at this point. Emily, who's impressed you the most from who you've seen so far?
I've been really impressed with Penn State so far this season. They're always near the top of the Big Ten, but they look as dominant as they have been in nearly a decade with this team. It's a team that could be in contention for a national title. I've been really impressed with them. And Michigan, the turnaround from last season for a team that only won a handful of matches. Aaron Virtue has done a phenomenal job with that program.
Interesting match for Penn State at UCLA tomorrow night after sweeping Minnesota at home on Sunday. Purdue and Ohio State at Holloway here in West Lafayette. And there's Raven Colvin with Purdue out of the timeout.
Fantastic answer right out of the timeout for Purdue. Great pass. They're able to run the slide. And watch how well this serve was handled. Great job going right in it. Colvin, one-on-one. She's barreling it through.
In system, that is just very difficult to stop for the player that's 4th in the Big Ten in hit percentage. Glad to have you with us, Jack Kaiser and Emily Eamon in Holloway Gym. Lundot going down the line. That's a nice dig from McAleer. Push from Anderson. Lundot once again. Cleaned up by Chicoine this time. Now Hudson with the kill.
Purdue's outsides have been so good in transition. They might not get that first set, but they continue to take swing after swing and find ways to get the kill later on in the rally.
The defensive improvement for Purdue as a whole, but also Hudson and Chicoine, even within this season, Dave Shondell said that's been a massive difference.
It's like having 3 liberos in the backcourt when you have Hornung back there alongside Hudson and then Chicoine when she comes back row 2. So impressive to have these players not only put up great offensive numbers, but in the backcourt putting up libero type stats.
And a service error puts Ohio State back up by 2. And Selman at the service line. Getting near the red zone here, and Ohio State still in control. Bump set up for Hudson. Had to roll it. Back set for Lundot. Barely got off the ground. Now it's Hudson. In the middle, tip over, and punch back by Purdue. Set down by Ohio State.
Great heads-up play from Riley Rader from Ohio State, number 20 in black. She did a really nice job coming down from this ball, identifying the overpass early on, and being very strong in her put down.
Don't forget, Riley Rader was a second-team All-American a few years ago. One of the cornerstones alongside Lundot, left over from that 2022 Elite 8 team. Easy sent down for Lundot after the overpass.
Just a little bit too sloppy on this out-of-system play. Chloe Chicoine going for the outside set, but perfectly sets up Lundot on the other side.
Timeout, Purdue down by 4 here in set 1. Again, Ohio State has been nibbling at that big win early in Big Ten play. And up by 4 after a 3-0 scoring run. you could sense there was a different sense of confidence for them after they lost to Penn State in 5 sets. Easily a match they could have taken.
Ohio State is trying to put those building blocks together. They've had a lot of players out with injury for the first half of the season, but now in more of a consistent lineup, they're finding that they're testing those top teams and going later in sets. They just went 5 with number 3 Penn State. A few weeks ago, you would have said that was crazy for this Buckeye team, but they have the pieces to do it. They are incredibly talented, still just trying to find that consistency this year.
They've been helped out by Purdue's service errors so far, but in that Penn State match, Emmy Selman was massive. We talked about it right away. 27 kills, 63 swings, and she led the team in both those categories. That's significant because they normally have to rely on Emily Londot for everything.
It's massive for Ohio State to have another go-to attacker and been really impressive for Selman. She's only been back, this is her 9th match of her college career because she was out during the non-con with injury. Her first 4, she was only 1.6 kills per set, hitting 0.47. Her last 4 matches, over 4 kills a set, hitting nearly 200. For a freshman to come in, it's been so impressive just to see her focus and consistently doing things like this. One of the first players in the gym. You see her absolutely dialed coming in early.
She said she usually needs to get loosened up before the game. Naturally a very focused, mature person. And that environment is what she saw in a recruiting visit to Ohio State, what sold her on coming to Columbus. The family atmosphere of doing an Irish jig before a massive Big Ten match. The coaches getting involved. She said that type of atmosphere is where she wanted to play.
It's a perfect combination for Selman because she is a laser-focused player, but Ohio State kind of takes that energy. Yes, they're focused that time, but JFO also keeps them loose on the sidelines.
We're pretty loose at serving pass today, seemed ready to go. Ready to go here in set 1, and a big swing for Raider puts them up 4 again.
Ohio State key to nail that pass right away to keep this lead. Not a lot of spin on this ball, and Anderson picked apart the serve receive earlier on. Better adjustment from the Buckeyes back line.
The key for Ohio State today, get the middles going, and we've seen Raider and her presence the last few points. Hudson. Now it's Londot, cross court, and no touch.
This is where Purdue has to make their push. If they're going to come back, it has to start now, just chipping away at this lead.
Purdue's rallied from deficits early in matches during this homestand, going back to the 5-set win over UCLA, where they were down 23-17 in set 2. Came back to win. That's 2 points in a row now.
This is where Ohio State needs that answer in these situations. Maybe you have a good read on the other side. Just flush it for the Buckeyes. Focus on the next point.
One of the best blocks in the Big Ten with Myers and Colvin leading the way there in the middle. Denied again.
Back to back for the Boilers. That front line doing work when it matters most. They stick to their discipline and do a great job identifying that ball and shutting them down.
12th nationally in blocks per set this year. Woolard, Myers has the Boilers within 1. Program record in attendance for Ohio State. We're seeing all kinds of records broken nowadays at the Schottenstein Center against Michigan. And then on Saturday at Mackey, Emily, you were there against Indiana. Nearly 15,000 packing it in. See the Boilers sweep the Hoosiers.
Jack, sorry, I didn't even hear what you said because I think I'm still having hearing loss from that match. So shout out Boiler fans. That was the loudest match I've ever been a part of.
Pretty loud in here tonight, too.
Oh, yeah, always is. They pack them in Holloway.
3-0 scoring run for Purdue, leading to the Ohio State timeout. And what's the answer for Ohio State? It's Emily Londot.
Expect Ohio State to go to Emily Londot even more now that they're in the red zone, meaning from point 20 on, Emily Londot becomes a go-to attacker. Even with her in the back row, the setter will find her.
Can Ohio State hold on here? Now into the red zone up by 2. First set win would be huge on the road. Myers block, kept up. Last touch for Purdue, that was 4. Again, breaking all kinds of records over the last year. It has been a massive calendar year for volleyball.
We've got a women's world sporting event record, an indoor match, an outdoor match, regular season Big Ten match record. Every single week it feels like we're seeing from school to school, records falling. It's been so impressive and so fun to watch.
That was an impressive push from Chicoine right through the Ohio State block. Emily, I feel like you were at all of those record-breaking matches. You're everywhere.
I was at all those, and they were all very, very fun to be a part of.
Volleyball's been so much fun over the last year. Fun match tonight between Ohio State and Purdue. Off the top of the block goes Webker.
Big answer for Ohio State, going to their freshman outside, Reese Webker, in a big moment, trying to close out the first set against the top 10 team on the road. They're going to need it from everyone.
Caitlin Hoffman to serve. Sophomore out of Novi, Michigan. Back set Woolard, and the right side sends down an asteroid.
Really smart decision from setter Taylor Anderson. Everyone in the gym expects this ball to go outside to the go-to attackers for Purdue. That leaves the right side one-on-one with no blocker in sight.
She's had a much bigger impact this year. More kills in her first 8 matches this season than all of last year. Good serve receive for Selman. Landot, too strong.
Perfect pass from Emmy Selman coming up in a really clutch moment. That's a ball that you have to keep in or go for the block and tool it off.
Gives Purdue a chance to tie at the service line with Ryan McAleer. Selman. Again, when she has the balance with Landot, Ohio State's difficult to stop.
Selman again, back-to-back perfect passes as well. That allows this seam to happen in the block for her because the middle has to stay with Ohio State's middle. Selman coming up big in these big moments.
Just like she visualized with her footwork and pregame warm-ups, the first out tonight at Holloway. Middle for Hudson for the back row. Too much power.
This is where Eva Hudson takes over a match. In these big moments, she is telling her setter, I want this ball, let me put it down. This time from the backcourt, but now Hudson moves into the front court. She's gonna get every ball.
Hudson with 5 kills to lead the way for Purdue. Huge point here. Selman. No touch. Purdue is tied it at 23.
Purdue putting in work from the end line to force Ohio State out of system, so they have to set the outside of the block, doing work up front to force them to hit it out. All of a sudden, Purdue right back in this one.
First to 25, win by 2. And Chicoine stays at the service line. Toolman sets for Selman, and blocked again.
The grit from Purdue to come back in this set, down 3 points at one point, but they took it point after point, just chipping away at that lead. That's what it takes to be a top 10 team in the country.
Timeout Bucks.
As you watch this play unfold, it's out of system, so everyone knows this ball has to go outside. Purdue's block is ready for it. This is a perfect example of the serve working with the block. When you knock them out of system, the block knows exactly where to go.
Purdue's got to feel pretty good about maybe not playing their best set and still on the verge of winning it right here. Timely blocks for Purdue in this first. Set point for Chicoine and the Boilers. Selman. Cleaned up by Hudson. Chance to win this set. Locked down, kept up. Back to Selman again. And she keeps us going.
Emmy Selman working so hard for Ohio State. The only person that can get this ball out of system. She's trying to vary up her attack. Didn't get the first one on the tip. This time swings a bit harder and gets it down.
She's got an effortless swing to her. Brings a ton of power behind it. Stopped right on the tape. Ohio State sets up. It's Selman. Cross-court dig from Hornung. Hudson. And it's too long. No touch. Ohio State now with its first set point.
Big opportunity for Ohio State right here, figuring out can they close. Do they have the maturity to take the first set against a top 10 opponent and keep the ball in play and force Purdue to try to make one?
couldn't close it in the 5th set when they had match point against Penn State, 14-13. Penn State rattled heartbreaker at home for Ohio State. Less than 18 hours later, you face Nebraska, which is no easy task.
It's always difficult when you're going up against a number 2 team in the country, but to play 2 top 3 teams within a 24-hour period, maybe just flush that Nebraska loss. There's a lot of big takeaways for Ohio State during the Penn State loss. They found ways to test some of the top teams, and confidence, just as a very young program, they're realizing that they can hang with the top teams. They have the ability to beat them. This is a great opportunity for Ohio State to show what they've learned over the last few weeks and take it to Purdue here.
You mentioned the youth. 7 of their 10 regular players are underclassmen.
You look at the go-to attackers for Ohio State, too. Of course, Emily Londot, a 5th year, Riley Rader, another 5th year, but everyone else, an underclassman, a sophomore or a freshman. So yes, Ohio State has pieces that have been around the block a few times, but in general, they're a pretty young team still trying to find that consistency and figure it out.
Purdue young in spots with a lot of experience, especially at key spots for the Boilers. Dave Shondell said he appreciated the maturation process for his team over the last month. And they show that maturity down once again late in set 1. Off the timeout, Ohio State's first set points. Truman. It's a bump set to Hudson. And found the perfect spot.
Who else besides Purdue's go-to attacker late in sets when they need a point? They will go to Hudson every single time.
On track for one of the great careers in Purdue history, just a junior and a fierce competitor.
And Ohio State back to one of their better rotations with Selman, Londot, and Rader in the front court. Lots of options.
Tied at 25, Julia Kane the serve. Londot with a full head of steam.
That's a big swing from Emily Londot on the outside. Just a ball barely chucked up to her, the block in a decent spot. Finds a way to barrel through right inside. Check out the angle of this ball. So sharp.
4-4, that is hard to pick up for Hudson. And back to Ohio State here in this ultra-competitive first set. Anderson, Hudson, in, just barely clipping the line.
I wonder why Jen Flynn-Oldenburg didn't challenge that, because that ball was barely in.
I think it just caught the outside of the line.
This tight of a set, yeah, it feels like you got a challenge.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Original decision is that the ball is in. The ball is being challenged as out by Ohio State.
And in these big moments, that's a play you have to challenge with as close as that is and how tight this set is.
Has to be enough evidence.
Even if you lose a challenge, it's worth it.
Absolutely. There needs to be enough evidence to overturn.
After review,
you see enough
the
there.
call is confirmed. The ball is in. Point will stay with Purdue, and Ohio State will lose their challenge.
I guess not.
A quick challenge. Stephanie McClarty doing work on the ref stand. That's a big point. Eva Hudson coming up clutch.
I mean, an inch separating a total change in complexion of the match, potentially.
Feels like a millimeter even.
Yes. Anderson the serve. Easy send down for Hudson. Tough serve receive again for Ohio State.
Purdue doing work from the end line. Taylor Anderson with a phenomenal serve. Ohio State has to lock in on serve receive. It doesn't have to be perfect. Keep this ball even 10 feet off. Ohio State can still run their offense.
Second set point for the Boilers at home. Blocked. A fitting way to close set 1 for the Boilermakers.
Blocking was the difference for Purdue during set 1. Up until the 16-point mark, they had none. From then on, 4 stuffs on the Boilermakers side, finding ways to slow down Ohio State's offense. Purdue getting it done, coming from behind, sneaking one out against Ohio State at home.
This got Washington coming up. Curtis Rourke injured. If they can survive that, could be in for some fun matches down the stretch of their season. And down the stretch for Purdue in set one, the block was the difference.
Purdue's block really came alive halfway through the first set. They found better ways to manage it, closing up seams. The middles did a much better job at the end.
That sealed the set for Purdue, 28-26 in the first. Underway in set two here at Holloway Gym. And Raven Colvin with a line drive out of bounds to start.
The connection so far for Purdue's middles has not been there to start. Anderson able to find them in front, but behind the setter, not quite consistent.
It wasn't the cleanest set for Purdue. Plenty of service errors, hit percentage well below 200, but again, the block came up big. Some timely aces from Anderson as well. Long free ball, just snuck over. And a push down for Anderson. Great court awareness from the sophomore setter.
Really smart decision from Anderson up front. Not an overly offensive setter, but she knows exactly when to throw it in. Chasing a ball down, doing everything it takes just to keep this ball alive. Really smart decision in a broken play during transition to throw it over.
She's become one of the best all-around setters in the Big Ten.
Anderson has been so impressive, and it really is that all-around game. She does a really nice job blocking-wise. Defensively, she digs a ton of balls, and she is just one of the most athletic setters in the Big Ten.
Mia Tzuman says, excuse me, I can block myself. Solo stuff to make it 2-1 Ohio State. She had been alternating with Kamaya Gibson recently over the last couple of weeks, but the range that Tzuman has at that center spot, why Jen Flynn Oldenburg chose to go with her tonight.
Yeah, Tzuman's a little bit better on the move, so if this ball is off the net, which it oftentimes is because Ohio State struggles to pass, they like the ball that Tzuman puts up just a little bit more.
Has the serve here. Anderson in the middle to Chicoine. Full throttle right down the gut.
Purdue's block has just been absolutely outstanding. That really was the difference in the first set. Again, from point 16 on, they came absolutely alive. Get a little sassy up front with the stare down, too. Those middles did a much better job closing when they needed it most, really looking at the ball and blocking the ball rather than going to a specific spot.
We've talked about the heavy hitters on the outside for both teams, but it feels like this game might be won in the middle tonight. Londot tapped out.
A little bit of junk happening on Purdue's side of the net, forces that overpass. Londot taking good care of it and making sure not to go in the net on that overpass as well.
5 kills, 5 attack errors so far for Londot, hitting a clean 0. But traditionally been strong against Purdue, averaging nearly 5 kills per set in her career. Answer for the Boilers.
That's a much better connection between Anderson and her middle. This time, Lourdes Myers on the slide attack, really pushing the tempo to the right side.
Colvin gets a lot of the attention in the middle, but Myers with 3 kills, 3 blocks already. A really nice compliment for Colvin in the middle of the net for Purdue.
Yeah, Myers has been really impressive this season, hitting nearly 350, averaging over a block per set. She's been a big difference maker when Purdue needs it.
There's the block again, Myers involved. Somehow Tzuman popped it over, and Myers finishes.
When there's broken plays happening on your side of the court, the number one thing you need to do is just get the ball high. Keep it on your side. Ohio State needs to do better in these chaotic plays of just controlling their side of the court.
Myers up to 5 kills now, hitting .714. Hit over 500 with 8 kills last year against Ohio State. Here's Londot on the right side. Ornon flew in for it, and Hudson split the block. Londot once again, pushed up by Hudson. Myers tomahawks. Ohio State kept it alive. It's a tight angle back for Hudson. Back set, Londot. Full head of steam, the dive from Hornung. And the rally continues. Middle push, Chicoine there. Hudson waiting for it, kept up, Hornung free ball. Hudson got a piece of it. In the middle, Raider, tap back.
Selman kept it up. Who's going to finish this off? Back set. Woolard, and it falls on Purdue's side. Whoa.
What a rally. The defense on both sides, Purdue managing to get under this block time and time again, just sticking an arm out to keep it alive. Then Ohio State side, incredible defense, finding ways to transition these plays and get a little bit of coverage on their side.
That is some serious volleyball fun right there. 4-4 set 2. Cross court, Hornung got it over to Anderson. Now to Chicoine with power.
Chloe Chicoine could just hit a dime on the floor if you put it there. That's the kind of precision that she plays with. A small window on the block. You have no idea where the ball even goes. She manages to sneak it through the smallest of seams.
Always undersized a little bit for her position at 5'10". In high school, she continued to hit it harder, jump higher, and developed into a powerful force. An All-American for Purdue, and it showed up last match against Indiana, going errorless for the match.
So impressive to have a player. She's listed at 5'10", but man, she can jump through the gym. She touches nearly 10'4". She can fly up there. She's also incredibly crafty. She goes up and knows exactly what shot she has to hit to score.
Former #1 recruit in the country from just down the road at McCutcheon High School. Woolard tomahawks it off Londa.
Purdue has really made it a point to get the right side of the court going, whether that's a middle running on a slide or Kenna Woolard on the right side, really trying to exploit that block for Ohio State. They're doing a really nice job with that.
And right side attack, a point of emphasis for Purdue coming in. They've executed well at times tonight. Back set to a sliding Brandewie. It was dug out by Anderson. Push down Tuman. And Ohio State goes into the nets.
And that call, because it was set by the libero in front of the 10-foot line, you cannot go up and attack that as a second attacker.
They try the slide again with Brandewie. And Hornung flew in for it. Push from Hudson. Londa from the back row. Chicoine skies, rolls, sent right back. Here's Hudson, and the tape recycles it.
Good look for Eva Hudson in the backcourt. You can see the lane she wanted to hit. 2 right back on Ohio State side, just missing a little bit low. Timing off.
We touched on the heavy hitters for Ohio State coming in with Emmy Selman, Emily Londa. So far tonight, combining for 9 kills. It's out of bounds off a swing from Purdue. And we're even at 7. Emily Londa second in the Big Ten in kills per set. Hudson not far behind in 4th, but Jess Merzick so impressive for Penn State this year.
I mean, it has been so impressive to watch all these players step out on the court, especially on the insane teams that they're on, some of the top in the country, and just the numbers that they're able to put up night in and night out.
How about these digs from Hasbrook and Hudson? Selman wants to touch and doesn't get it.
The defense has been so much fun to watch so far tonight. It's not just the liberos on both sides. Everyone's getting a taste of some of these digs. Eva Hudson doing whatever she can. Doesn't have to be a perfect platform, just scooping that ball up with her hands.
Hudson with 6 digs already at a career-high 17 last week against UCLA. Selman blocked.
Really nice finish from Anderson and Colvin up front, working really well together, going up at the same time. The timing is absolutely great, and the hands are right next to each other, closing up all the seams.
Talking to Raven Colvin before the match, she said she's been freed up so much mentally with the block for Purdue. It is see ball, go get ball. Sliding Brandewie. And out of bounds off the arms of Anderson.
Good adjustment from Brandewie up front on this slide attack. The timing a little bit off, but she managed that swing really well just to keep it in play.
No surprise, tight to start set 2 here. Purdue taking set 1, 28-26. Boilers going for their
4th straight win, winning 6 of their last 7. Upstairs to London and out of bounds.
Missed opportunity on Ohio State's side, free ball coming over. Those are the plays that you have to execute on. If you're given an easy ball, you have to be able to put it away. London just really struggling to keep the ball on the court.
Hit percentage at just 0.33 right now for Ohio State. Purdue's block is out of presence, and the efficiency continues to be an issue for the Buckeyes. Push down the line to London. Middle, block for Purdue. Swing from Raider. Selman trying to tool. Over to Hudson. And she just sends it down with force.
And you can't leave a seam for Eva Hudson to hit through because it's coming back so fast on your side. Watch this transition play, really well executed on Purdue's side. And that seam, man, she's just going to destroy.
Destroys a perfect term there. Right to the floor for Hudson. 9 kills for her. Tight to the net and easy work for Colvin. Timeout Ohio State. Purdue's largest lead of set 2. Already up 1-0 at home.
Purdue on a 3-0 scoring run here in set 2, and Eva Hudson been a massive reason why the Boilers are on top so far. Doing a really nice job tonight, changing up her attack, hitting different shots, leading the team right now with 9 kills, and we're not even halfway through the second set yet. Eva Hudson is going off like she normally does.
No surprise for Boilers fans watching Hudson dominate Big Ten opponents for a long time now, over 2 years. 55 straight with double-figure kills to make it 56.
Week to week, she's just been so phenomenal. And these are her numbers from last week through 2 matches. Over 5 kills a set, hitting over 400 and nearly 3 digs per set. Her all-around game is absolutely outstanding. And those were against 2 very good opponents and one of their rivals in Indiana.
Dave Shondell said he appreciates how she continues to carry a chip on her shoulder despite how good she is. She's always looking to improve and has defensively this year. Block for Colvin. Purdue now up by 6.
Really good read from Raven Colvin. Not a great set to Emily Londot in the back row. Not much she could have done with that, but decides to chip it right in the block. This ball has to be played a little bit better. Maybe just go right over it. You have to swing higher against Colvin.
The serve from Chicoine, Ohio State out of sorts, and an ace for the Boilers.
This is when it becomes really difficult to catch up with Purdue. When they go on long runs, their servers just get better and better, picking apart the serve receive on the other side. Beautiful serve right into the seam.
This type of run is what you and Chris saw on Saturday at Mackey Arena, just dominant every set against IU.
I mean, Purdue serving is just so good. When they get back there, they get focused and they continue to hit harder and harder and better serves. It's tough to get them off the end line.
Selman recycled. Now Truman goes in the middle for Raider. And a much-needed point for Ohio State.
Ohio State needs a lot more middle involvement. The passing hasn't necessarily allowed that to happen, but Truman has to find the middles when given.
Raider coming off her 1,000th career kill against Nebraska, her only kill of the match. Middle involvement, like you said, it hasn't been terribly present recently for Ohio State coming into today. Hudson with the push, Selman the dive. Londot, the hard swing, sent right back to her. Purdue reloads, Chicoine.
Purdue has turned it up a notch here in the second set. They're playing much cleaner and executing the little plays just a little bit better. Check out this block on Purdue's side. Colvin, the press over. It is so hard to get that ball up. Londot gets lucky, throwing an arm at it. And then Chloe Chicoine from the back row, bringing the heat.
2 players right there that play bigger than they are. That
was a quick set, something we really haven't seen from Ohio State. It was perfect.
Such an impressive set for Mia Tooman. This is what Ohio State needs to do. If the ball isn't perfect, 10 feet off the net, Tooman can still get the middles involved. They need a lot more of this so far tonight.
Rader with her second kill over the last few points. Up to Hudson. And out of bounds.
Hudson adamant that Shondell should challenge that.
And he will. Purdue's first challenge tonight.
The original decision is no touch. Purdue is challenging that there was a touch on the play.
Good look at this. Yeah, that inside hand for the middle. Clear as day.
These hitters know.
They know right away. Also, as a coach, you have to trust your players, too.
After review, there is a touch on the play. Call will be reversed. Point to Purdue.
Another quick challenge. We love it. Keep it up, Deputy. Come on.
We love the flow. Game flow is good. But think back to the challenge that Ohio State did not win in the first set, where Hudson was a millimeter away from going out of bounds and giving that first set to Ohio State. It'd be a very different outlook for the Buckeyes. Instead, down 1-0, down 7 points in set 2. Webker, her first swing in a while. Back set for Woolard, the push, tapped up. Up to Londot this time. Blocked again by the Boilers. They just have a beat on everything Ohio State's doing.
How about that read from Lourdes Myers, identifying the back set early on and then exploding to her outside, and watch the hands press so far over the net. I mean, that's a brick wall. Who's getting through that?
Not Emily Londot.
No,
Not
no
that
one.
time, yeah. Selman from the back row. Nice dig from Tooman diving in. Webker cross court. And point to Ohio State.
Purdue getting a little bit antsy on that block. Just coming down right on the top of the tape. A little bit undisciplined. But hey, you'll take it. With the block numbers they're putting up, you're okay with that one getting by.
You're fine with the level of aggression and the occasional net violation. Out of bounds, service error, Ohio State. Emily, they were practicing serving with the teammates yelling at them during serve and pass today to prepare for the students and the noise in Holloway.
Look, Purdue is one of the toughest places to play as an opponent. When you're back on that line, the student section is as close as NCAA regulations allow. They are right on top of you, yelling nasty stuff at you. It is difficult. You have to practice that if you're the opposing team.
Some enthusiasm for the Buckeyes, trying to stay positive despite a pretty dire situation at this point. Purdue almost in the red zone. Already up 1-0 at home. They've only lost to Penn State. Chicoine. Right back to Purdue. Anderson to Woolard this time. The second block for Ohio State. Back to Chicoine. Blocked for a third time, and this one's a finisher for the Buckeyes.
Good shutdown from the setter, Mia Tooman, up front, holding just a little bit longer, identifying the tip, and then throwing it down.
Brings up their top server, Londot. Hudson caught the back line.
What a shot from Hudson. Backcourt hits the opposite corner. She does such a great job. Such precision. Looking like she's going to hit zone 5, going right back to zone 1, putting it on the end line.
Londot was getting out of the way. I started to. It's pretty terrifying when Hudson's coming right at you.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the other side of that.
Oh, pretty scary with Londot coming downhill as well. And Karem's out of bounds.
Purdue in the right place to make a play on this, but Londot bringing too much heat. It's one thing to be in the right place, but then can you handle how much strength that Emily Londot is bringing?
Good luck. 20-14 Purdue. Webker serves. And Chicoine is denied.
Mia Tooman coming up big on the right side for Ohio State, doing a nice job seeing where this play is unfolding, going to the ball, and then getting those hands over so fast.
Ohio State slowly starting to creep back in this match, down just 5. And a push out of bounds. It's a 4-point set.
Raven Colvin already done that about 3 or 4 times tonight, trying to do a little bit too much on these tips.
Purdue trying to hang on in set 2.
Truly nobody more deserving for this Purdue program, the best to ever come through the program and what she has accomplished, not just 1 medal, but 2 Olympic medals. The longevity that it takes to do that, Annie Drew is one of the best.
Honored last week here at Holloway. Sold out once again. Student section sold out in 20 minutes leading into this season for Purdue. An awesome environment for volleyball. Hudson from the back row puts Purdue up 5.
Every time Hudson's in the backcourt, she's ripping that shot back to zone 1. Ohio State is having trouble identifying that and getting that passer right behind it.
13 kills for Hudson, and the hit percentage climbing. Now at 257. Tooman, Selman with the push. Now it's Chicoine in the middle. Hustle from Tooman gave Selman a chance, but with the left, to do nothing with it.
Yeah, not much Selman could have done with that ball.
And a timeout for Ohio State once again. Purdue in control still here in set 2. On the verge of taking total command going into set 3. We're about midway through the conference season, 20 conference matches, and here's the criteria for the D1 Volleyball Selection Committee. Strength of schedule, RPI really emphasized. The AVCA rankings really not too important at this point. Purdue number 10, the latest AVCA poll. And in the latest selection committee top 16, again, these would be the seeds for the NCAA tournament. Get home court for the first couple of rounds. Purdue at number 12.
And right away, 7 Big Ten teams in the NCAA Selection Committee's top 16. That is insanely impressive. And the ones that stand out, Nebraska coming in at number 1 over Pitt. Pitt has been ranked higher than them pretty much all season long. But what the committee loved about Nebraska was those top 10 wins, which they had more than Pitt, and their RPI, meaning their strength of schedule is just a little bit better. What this 16 also means is that these teams would host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, so it's a massive home court advantage. When you look at RPI, what this measures is strength of schedule. So 25% of it is your win percentage, 50% of it is your opponent win percentage, and then the other 25% is your opponent's win percentage. So really measuring that strength of schedule and where teams fall in here. And as you can see, again, Big Ten teams doing a really nice job being in about that 50 range. Normally, to make the NCAA tournament, you need to be in that 55 to 60 range. And I mean, right now, you could get 12, 13 Big Ten teams in. It's crazy.
Very possible. Purdue would love to host here at home. And Ohio State not out of it yet, 68 in the latest RPI. If they start to rack up some wins, they could slowly move their way back into tournament contention. But Emily, they need a big win like they could pick up tonight.
Normally with those RPI rankings, if you're in the 60 range, you still have to have a big win, whether that means a top 10 win, maybe 2, 3 top 25 wins. It's important to be in that range for RPI, but you still need to take down some top teams.
1 ranked win this year over Miami in the non-conference, number 20 at the time. Ohio State 1-5 against ranked teams to this point. Brief stoppage in play as Tooman lost a shoe. And the fit is very important.
I don't see that happen very often.
Did you ever lose a shoe?
I don't think I've ever lost a shoe. You just throw it away, who cares?
Hopefully
Get
they've
her a
got
new
some
one.
extra ones. Yeah.
Oh, they literally are getting her a new one. We're lacing it up right now.
Total lace up.
Here's a look at it. Number 9 in black looks down at her shoe. Looks like something's broken on it.
Yeah, the lace must have broken. Went to Devaney McClarty and said, hey, I need a new shoe. And they're literally taking the time to put brand new laces through the whole thing. Crocs are an option. It's National Croc Day, and they're giving away Purdue-themed gibbets tonight.
There they are. Check a look at the end of the bench. Watch this. She'll just throw it, her shoe. She's like, hey, you need it more than I do. Come take it.
That is awareness. That is sacrifice. Got to have the same size. And then good hands from Tooman.
Look, that's exactly what you want in some of your bench players. They need to be ready to go at all times, and if that means taking the coat off their back, the shoe off their foot, so be it. Freshly
Laced off the assist from a teammate. And the assist to Hudson puts Purdue up 6.
Now to bring Hudson back up to the front court. This is exactly who Purdue wants up there to finish off this set.
When they rallied from down this score, set 2 against UCLA, 5-set win for Purdue last week. It was Hudson they continued to target, taking most of those points as Purdue rallied. Service error is a problem for Purdue in set 1, not so much in set 2.
And now with Mia Tooman coming in the backcourt, Emily Londot, Ohio State's go-to attacker, is back up front as they try to make this late push.
Down by 5, Purdue 2 points away from taking a 2-set lead. It's a bump set, up for Hudson. Back to Londot, tapped up by Anderson. Now Chicoine, rolls, Selman was there. Londot for a second time, goes cross court, and a great dig from McAleer. Selman responds with a dig of her own. Londot for a third time, dig from McAleer again. Hudson, dig Hasbrook, right to Londot along the antenna, and it's set point Purdue.
Purdue is defending Emily Londot incredibly well. Some of these digs that Purdue's just eaten up by no means are easy, and they're finding ways to make it look easy.
Dave Shondell told you after the IU match, Purdue is starting to play Purdue defense once again. Colvin. Londot pounds it off Purdue to keep Ohio State alive.
Just another big swing, this time Emily Londot on the outside. Again, Ohio State's go-to attacker. They'll look to find her in these big moments.
8 kills for Londot. Selman serves. Dump, and it's a set clinching point for Anderson to the back corner.
Something about getting late in sets. Taylor Anderson turns it up a notch offensively, finding the holes on the court, getting it done for Purdue. Insane numbers.
So steady. They continue to target her in set 2 after she really carried them down the stretch in set 1 when it was very tight with Ohio State.
And this is a player that averages around 4 kills a set, 8 in the first set, 7 in the second set. Eva Hudson continues to find ways to just level up every single time.
Level up every season. Again, on track for one of the great careers in Purdue history. Dave Shondell knows it. He loves the work that she's put in and the competitive fire that she brings to an improving Purdue team throughout the season after they got swept by Penn State in their Big Ten opener here in Holloway. Dave said, I haven't had to sit through one of those in a long time. A game where they just did not play well in any facet. Won 6 of their last 7 since that point. We start set 3 with Purdue up 2-0. Emmy Selman the swing for Ohio State. Now Chicoine for Purdue. Chicoine with 5 kills tonight. And Selman is blocked by Colvin and Anderson one of the best blocking combos in the Big Ten.
The Boilers do such a good job up front, especially when Colvin's helping out on it. One of the best blockers in the entire country. She reads so well and can explode out to her pins.
Anderson got a big chunk of that one. And Ohio State has kept it up. Purdue sets for Hudson. And it's out of bounds. Boilers wanted a touch. A half-hearted look over to the bench, and it looks like they won't challenge. When Purdue's taken the first 2 sets this year, they've only been pushed to 4 one time. Can Ohio State do it on the road? Colvin sliding, and a friendly bounce off the tape.
That connection has been a little bit spotty all night between Colvin and Anderson running behind the setter. Colvin's had to tip her way out of a lot of these plays. The connection looking a lot better to start the 3rd set.
That play specifically, something that really improved just the timing and the chemistry that's developed with her and Anderson in their 2nd year together. Joust back to Ohio State. Selman lets it rip, and Purdue sends it right back.
I mean, you can't hit right into Raven Colvin, because if you do, it's coming back with double the heat. This is one of the best blockers in the entire country. Ohio State has to do a better job of avoiding her when she's up front.
She's like a fastball hitter in baseball. If you're going to throw the heat, just know it could go a long way back the other way. Hudson with the point for Purdue, taking an early 3-point lead here in the 3rd set. Already up 2 sets to none. Raven Colvin with her sibling Miles, a sophomore on the men's basketball team for Purdue. An awesome idea with NIL. Came up with it with the help of their dad, Roosevelt, former defensive end for Purdue, and in the NFL with the Patriots. They wrote children's books.
So cool to see just what NIL is allowing for these student athletes. It's not just paying players. That's all great and all, but to have the ability to do something like this and really bond with not only your brother, but your dad. And Colvin said it was really great. The best part of it was being able to bond with my dad and see the bigger vision of things like this while still playing college athletics.
So her brother Miles there on the left, Roosevelt on the right. Season ticket holders. Colvin on the slide. It's out. She wanted to touch and out of it. Pointing towards the Purdue bench.
That ball really close to the end line. Colvin definitely thinking that ball was in. Here's another look at it. That was way in.
They chose not to challenge, not to touch. You're right, it was pretty far in.
Yeah.
Ohio State gets away with one there, but Purdue responds to the point. You saw it briefly again with the children's book for Raven. Her book is Raven Flies High. There's another about Miles, one that ties in the siblings and their dad. You can buy them on Amazon, and they were just released a couple of months ago.
The ABCs of volleyball,
Yep.
2 volleyball terms. I got to give me that one.
An awesome idea. Ace for Purdue.
Well, and there's an A for an ace. Raven Colvin getting it done from the end line. So cool to have this player, not 1, not 2, but 3 books already under her belt.
Athletes dream of having statues built of them. How about having your own children's book? So cool. Selman off the top of the block, and just on Purdue's side. Up to Hudson, who vaporizes.
This is where Ohio State has to be careful. If they let Purdue to continue to roll and stay on a run, it's going to be really difficult. Raven Colvin now, the pretty good run on the end line.
We saw Purdue pull away in the middle of set 2. Ohio State made it interesting, drawing within 4, 20-16, but Purdue closed it out strong. Took set 1, 28-26. And there's a service error for Colvin. She's really worked hard on her service game, leading Purdue in aces this year. Talked about it in set 1. She said that was the thing when she just started playing volleyball that would make her cry if she would cry when she got upset.
This middle duo for Purdue has been so impressive this season between Colvin and Lourdes Myers. they almost look identical in the way that they run that slide. It's with so much power. They really explode up to get it. And blocking-wise, Lourdes Myers is putting up pretty good numbers too.
Very good. She made an impact early in set 1. And Myers up to 6 kills, 4 blocks tonight. Nice try from Chicoine to the back line, but punches into the stands.
Emily Londa not necessarily having the greatest offensive night for Ohio State, hitting barely over 0 at 0.56 right now. Getting it done though in the backcourt, already picked up 10 digs for the double-double, but struggling offensively to put the ball down.
Ace for the Buckeyes, now within 2.
This was the answer that Ohio State needed. A little more service pressure from the end line, dropping it right in front of the passers. This is where the Buckeyes have to make a move.
Fan pressure on the serve from Rader. Hudson rises, rolls, sent back. Back set to Wooler, who just powers it through.
Really impressive ball, sending this against the flow, sending it all the way back, long string to Kenna Woolard. Leaves that one-on-one to hit through the seam.
We talk about getting the heavy hitters going for each team. Purdue much more effective with that tonight. 29 assists for Anderson, 17 for Mia Tuman. Down the line, Londa, and out of bounds.
And Londa just trying to do a little bit too much with some of these swings. In this case, she had a wide open seam to hit through, but tries to barely sneak it down the line. Londa has to be a little bit more just better in her choices.
Maybe better choices, but how does Ohio State get Londa going?
Well, they have to find a way to get her better looks. A lot of these plays are broken plays like this. They're just chucking up to her. She's trying to find something to do with. That time gets the kill, but they need to find her maybe a little bit more in system rather than just junk plays when she's got 2 blockers in front of her.
Purdue's made it tough on Ohio State to stay in system tonight. Hanging around in set 3, trying to force a 4th. Woolard the push and finds the floor. Woolard up to 4 kills in just 0 tonight. Good look at it from our net cam.
And a really smart decision for Woolard, just right to the middle of the court, that donut or campfire that people call it, right between all the players. Check out those numbers. Last year to this year, I mean, she has exploded, nearly doubled her kills per set, and nearly doubled that efficiency as well for the opposite on Purdue. A lot of that, too, comes with just getting more comfortable in that role and that connection between Taylor Anderson and Woolard. Having one more year under the belt, getting that offseason to train and find a little bit more consistency.
It's really helped a lot of the Purdue hitters. An extra year of experience for Anderson. Timing has been a little sporadic tonight, but have it down enough to be in control. Now up 4 in the 3rd set.
What a swing from Raven Colvin, moving her along the net, finding ways to keep her involved. Doing a really nice job, looking like she's gonna hit in front, and then all of a sudden, she's on a back quick, nearly an open net.
I feel like you broke that down right off the top of the show.
Well, that's what makes Raven Colvin so good, is it doesn't have to be a set play. She'll audible out of something else.
Brandewie on the slide, pulls Ohio State within 3.
The Buckeyes just trying to chip away at that lead, trying to do anything they can to stay back in this match. They're gonna need a lot more service pressure to try to knock Purdue out of their rhythm.
Just 2 aces tonight for Ohio State. Deep serve and a service error from Hasbrook, 2nd on the team in service errors this year. Sunday, stream women's volleyball on Big Ten Plus when the Buckeyes are back in Columbus to take on 15th ranked Minnesota, one of thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten. You can see this season on Big Ten Plus. Subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. Approaching the midway point of the 3rd set, Ohio State trying to hang in. Purdue up 2-0, going for their 4th straight win this season. Back to Tuman at the service line. Anderson backs up for it and feeds Chicoine. Long push has Ohio State scrambling. Point Purdue.
Really well managed by Chloe Chicoine. Not the perfect set to her, but she did something with it. She got Ohio State out of system. It resulted in the point, but if anything, it just knocked Ohio State out of their rhythm. Here's another look at it, just going right over the block, pushing it to that back deep corner, really testing out the pressure and putting it on Ohio State.
Chicoine talked about having to get crafty last year as a freshman to adjust to the Big Ten. Big Ten's ridiculous. It's the best conference in the country. You can't just hit it hard to score now.
And that's what happens when you're an outside coming into this conference. A lot of players will just try to barrel through the block, and you see him getting blocked off the court early on. What makes Chicoine so good is she does a really nice job varying up that attack. She has every shot in the book, and she can jump through the gym.
It's Hudson this time. And blocked out of bounds.
Hudson putting up her 18th kill of the night already, taking control of this match. Purdue up 15-11 at the break.
Yeah, coming up at the pad in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Northwestern. Minnesota 5-3 in Big Ten play so far. That's coming up at the top of the hour, 9 Eastern, here on Big Ten Network. Fun match so far tonight at Holloway Gym. Very competitive in the first set. Purdue took it 28-26. Much more comfortable in set 2, and up 3 here in the third set. Ohio State 1-7 in Big Ten play. Nearly picked up a top 5 win over Penn State last Friday. Struggling against the Boilers on the road right now, and they rally. Free ball back from Brandewie. Back set, Wooler pounds off the block.
Really smart set from Taylor Anderson. Everything looked like she was going to either set this ball to her middle or outside. Then at the last second, you get a little flick of the wrist back. Catches that block off guard. Kenna Woolard's able to go off it.
Look at the flick of the wrist. 16-12 Purdue. London answers.
When Ohio State needs a point or is trying to climb out of a hold, they were going to look to Londot to do that, their go-to attacker. Even moving into the backcourt, look for them to get her going, moving between a Bick and middle back or a D-ball through the right back.
What's a D-ball?
An attack through the right back, so a little bit more on the right side rather than a Bick, which is in the middle.
Service error puts Purdue back up 4. You would have to imagine, with where Ohio State's at in the match right now, Purdue has got to be keyed on Blondot the rest of set 3.
100%. That is Ohio State's go-to attacker when they're looking to get him out of a hole, especially right now where they have Selman in the back row as well. They're going to look to Londot.
Up to Webker with some velocity, dug by Hornung. Chicoine tried the push. Hornung kept it high. Not for long as Tuman sent it down.
Now good up by Allie Hornung, chasing that ball down, just barely put over the tape. Really good put down from Tuman, identifying that overpass. These quick bang-bang plays that you just have to identify so early and always be ready to go back up and explode down to.
You really like what you've seen from Hornung tonight.
Oh, Hornung has been so impressive. Really not gotten enough love already. 14 digs so far in a 3-set match. I mean, she has eaten up some of these plays. She's doing a phenomenal job. Also doing a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily show up in a stat sheet. So a lot of those coverage balls Ohio State has pushed over, but Hornung is always in there to pick it up. And passing-wise, she's doing a really good job directing traffic in the back row. That's why you haven't seen a lot of aces on Ohio State's side, because they're on top of those seams really well.
A luxury for Purdue to have the senior at libero after Maddie Skimmerhorn took up most of the digs over the last couple of years. Timeout, Ohio State with Purdue inching closer to taking this match. On the verge of their... Braden Smith in the house. And men's hoop season about to get underway. We're just a couple of weeks away. Preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. Had a heck of a season leading the Boilers to the national championship game last year. Eva Hudson's a baller too. She has been phenomenal in her last 5. Our State of Success brought to us by State Farm.
Eva Hudson has been so impressive this season. Already 2-time All-American, way on track to earn another one of those awards because of numbers like these that she's putting up. And in those big moments, in the big matches, she's even more impressive. 26 kills against the #2 team in the country and one of the best defensive teams in the country.
That's a match that Purdue is still struggling to get over, maybe. Had Nebraska on the ropes on the road. The service errors really cost him. Service error gives it back to Ohio State with the Buckeyes down 4. Quick center down 4. Tillman timed well.
Good time for Ohio State to try to throw in some trickery, stuff that they maybe don't normally do throughout the match, just to try to catch Purdue off guard and start to chip away at that lead for the Boilers. A sneaky one at that.
It's a 3. Block party won't make it easy on the serve. Back set, Colvin on the slide from Webker. Here comes Ohio State with Londot. Hudson answers, fishing it up.
Good ball.
Good dig from Hasbrook in the middle. Ohio State reloads. Tillman, Selman. Ooh, 2 Purdue players ran into each other there. We're still going. Hudson again. Chicoine. Oh, what a dig. Hasbrook on the back line. Colvin out of bounds.
Ohio State doing whatever they can to keep the ball off the floor. Olivia Hasbrook in the backcourt. Check out this dig. Laying out for it right in the seam. Doing whatever she can to keep the ball alive and give Ohio State more and more swinging opportunities.
Jen Flynn Oldenburg knew Olivia Hasbrook would make a big impact. She's coming into her freshman season. And a really nice add at libero. She serves. Skip off the tape. Chicoine down the line. That is fun to watch.
But Chloe Chicoine is going to hit her head on the ceiling. That's how high she's jumping right now. In these big moments, too, it looks like she's got a little more extra oomph on it. Check out how high she gets up here. Just 5'10". I mean, come on. That hang time is unmatched. Her shoulders are above the net.
She touched 10-2 with her vertical. Londa answers, just deletes it right down the middle.
Ohio State's going to need a lot more of that really big swings in these kind of moments. And Emily Londot's the player that's going to bring it. Now back into the front court. Expect her to get a lot of sets.
It is a 2-point set. Looked like Purdue might run away with it at the end. Ohio State fighting. Full head of steam for Hudson. She was blocked.
All of a sudden, Ohio State back within one. That block coming alive, and Ohio State needs it most. Check out this press for Ohio State. Riley Rader getting those hands so far over the net, and that left hand, the inside hand for her, turned back inside. So if it hits it, it's going right back over the tape.
5-1 scoring run for Ohio State to claw back in this thing. Part of a brutal stretch for the Buckeyes playing was an unreal experience, and he can't wait for the community to experience it once again this Saturday at Mackey. We'll have the Terraflex court too. Players appreciate that. Trying to hold off Ohio State in set 3. 5-1 scoring run for the Buckeyes before the timeout. Hudson off the block, out of bounds. She's got 19 kills now in the 3rd set. A career high for 3 sets for Eva Hudson.
Those are numbers that Eva Hudson is just putting up night after night. She continues to get better, not slowing down, despite whatever team that she's playing. It could be the #1 team in the country or the worst team in the country. Doesn't matter. She's continuously bringing it, and she's locked in.
Off the Purdue block, it lands inbounds, and the Boilers answer with 2 straight.
And there Eva Hudson goes, this time getting the stuff up front alongside Lourdes Myers, finding ways to shut down this Ohio State offense.
Double-figure blocks for Purdue. Julia Kane. Deep serve and out. It seems like late in the set at this point, with where both teams are at, we're going to see Hudson, we're going to see Londot down the stretch.
Yep.
It's Selman at the line. Loud in the first set, quiet since. Off the overpass, Ohio State within one.
All of a sudden, Ohio State back in this one in the red zone from point 20 on. This is where you have to play your best volleyball. Play clean, execute at a high level, and follow the scouting report.
Swing from Rader. Selman the serve again. Back set. Myers the tip over. Oh, the timing was perfect.
Good decision from Lourdes Myers. Not the perfect set for her, but she knew exactly what to do with it. Right over that block. Left back defender way too far back. That's a high IQ play at a pivotal time for the Boilers.
Slowed her body at the rise just enough. Strong set from Anderson. Off the serve from Anderson. Here comes Webker. Cross court, the dig from Hornung. She has been excellent. Hudson took some off. Up to Londot. Tried to push it through. Cycled right back. Webker again. Blocked off the tape. We're still going. Webker for a third time. Oh my goodness. How did Chicoine get there? Hasbrook got there for Ohio State. And off Woolard. A huge momentum build for the Buckeyes.
Impressive saves on both sides. First, it's on Ohio State's side, just managing to keep this ball alive. Then, for Purdue, Chloe Chicoine coming out of nowhere to get this ball up. Explosive play after explosive play, and Ohio State puts it down.
That was ridiculous. Here we go again. Hudson. Bump set up to Webker. Rises. And a net violation on Purdue has Ohio State with a tie set.
A pivotal time for Purdue, just getting a little bit undisciplined. Kenna Woolard coming down right on the top of the net. In these big moments, you have to play your best ball, and you cannot have these kind of undisciplined net faults.
This is a lot of resilience for an Ohio State team that is just 1-7 in the Big Ten. They've had some heartbreaking losses. They're not going down without a fight.
The defense has just picked up as we've gotten later and later in this set. Both teams finding ways to just do whatever it takes to keep the ball alive. That's what you want late in sets. You want your defense to be as relentless as possible. You're not going to score points in the back row, but you allow the opportunity for your front row to get after it. Chloe Chicoine with one of the best ups that we've seen all season, just absolutely coming out of nowhere to get that ball and keep it alive.
If it impresses a former libero, it's going to impress a lot of people. That's Emily Even. I'm Jack Kaiser. Really fun one tonight. 2 of these 3 sets have been right down to the wire.
It's been so much fun. That first set, Purdue taking it 28-26. After playing from behind, Purdue took the second one handily, but Ohio State, this time playing from behind, they're making a run.
Coming up after us at the PAV in Minneapolis, it is Minnesota, 15th ranked team in the country, taking on Northwestern here on Big Ten Network. Jen Flynn Oldenburg wanted her team to play with more of an edge defensively. We've seen that at the end of set 3, and it's kept Ohio State alive. Tough serve for Rader. Overpass. Purdue dodges a bullet. Off the free ball. Upstairs, Londot. With power, she's blocked.
Purdue doing what they do best. That block coming up clutch at the perfect time. Lourdes Myers, unreal.
6 blocks for Myers to lead Purdue. Match point. Back set to Londot. Cross court to keep us going.
Look for Ohio State to keep the ball on Londot. Even in perfect pass situations, this is their go-to, and she's going to take swings like this with all this power late in sets.
Big moments Look for London. Double-double tonight. And serving. Tied at 24. Clean over to Chicoine. Had to reach back for it. And that gave Ohio State's block enough room.
Really nice block from Ohio State, but Purdue side, you have to have players in to cover that. Everyone just standing there looking. They have to be dialed in.
2 in a row for Ohio State, and a chance to extend here. Chicoine again. Right back to Purdue. Down the line, it is in. What a perfect spot for the sophomore.
Chloe Chicoine absolutely clutch. Doesn't get the first kill, stays in the play, gets another swing at it after an impressive up on Ohio State's side. But watch the placement of this tip perfectly in the back corner.
Zellman thought it was out. Tied at 25. Sliding Brandewie. Colvin off the block, tips it over. Now to Webker.
When sets are tight, Purdue's block gets even better. They are absolutely locked in, and Raven Colvin is a player you do not want to test out late in sets because that ball is going to come back real fast.
It was blocks late in set 1 that won it for Purdue. It has them on the brink again here in the third.
This is what makes Raven Colvin such an incredible player. She's not having the best offensive night, but she makes up for it defensively and finds ways to stay locked into play. And in these big moments, she is one that's going to come up big.
Staying calm in the fire. Purdue's played in a lot of tight matches, a lot of big matches this year. Going extra points for a second time tonight against Ohio State in front of the home fans.
Impressive comeback for Ohio State, down as much as 5 points in this set. Found a way to come back when it mattered most, and Purdue just trying to fend them off to close it out.
Can they sustain this push and get over the hump, which they just couldn't do in set 1? Fourth in the Big Ten, top 15 in the country. 12 blocks tonight, led by Colvin and Myers, each with 6. Out of the timeout, second match point for Purdue. Hornung serves. Long time. Off the tip. Chicoine. Purdue wins its 4th straight.
In these big, tight moments, you find out a lot about your team. And what we saw from Purdue is it doesn't matter if a team comes back and